evening. Welcome to another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. This is Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell on Elevation 280 Sports and Lifestyles platforms. We'll be back for the final episode in the month of July. This is it. It's July 31st. Let's get into what's going on in the world of sports. So in the month of July, this is it. It's July 31st. Let's get into it, man. We're gonna start with the Athlon Sports College Football Preview excerpts. We get into that. And then we're gonna get into remembering Ryne Sandberg. I remember him as a player myself, my perspective on him. Let's get into the greatness of Ryne Sandberg. I mean, he was one of the great players in Chicago Cubs history. Fortunately passed away at the age of 65 due to complications of cancer. Then get into on this day in sports history as far as July 31st is concerned. So we're gonna get into that. So let's get into it. Right, we're gonna start with the ACC preview and look at what they think. This magazine preview of the college football season is going to look at the overview of what they think is going to happen in the ACC this year, and take it from there. Because college football is right around the corner, man. It's August. August is coming up, and once you get into August, as a college football fan, you start anticipating on that season of college football. I think it starts August 23rd. That's going to be the first day of the college football season. So let me see. Let me double check. College football season starts. College football season starts. Okay, August 23rd on a Saturday, week 0. The first game is going to be in Dublin, Ireland, between Iowa State and Kansas State. So we're going to start August 23rd. So we're right around the corner. I mean, tomorrow's August the 1st. So we're waiting to get started the season August 23rd. Let's get into this, what this magazine think of the ACC preview. Now they got Clemson winning the ACC. They got them beating Miami in the ACC championship game. Miami gonna finish second. Third is gonna be SMU Mustangs. Before Louisville Cardinals, Georgia Tech gonna be 5, Duke 6, Florida State 7, Pittsburgh 8, North Carolina 9, NC State 10, Virginia Tech 11, number 12, Boston College, Syracuse 13, Virginia 14, Cal 15, Wake Forest 16, Stanford number 17. So that's what they got. The all ACC team, they got Cade Klubnik, the quarterback for Clemson. He's the best quarterback in this conference according to this first team offense. Isaac Brown, running back, Louisville. Jamal Haynes, running back of Georgia Tech. AP, I don't know what that position means. Desmond Reed, Pittsburgh. Antonio Williams and Bryant Wesco Jr. Those are the two top receivers they believe are going to be on the all ACC team. Chris Bell for Louisville, a wide receiver tight end. Justin Jolly, NC State. The offensive line, Keelan Rutledge, Georgia Tech. Francis Maligoa, Miami of Florida. Blake Miller, offensive lineman, Clemson. Brian Parker II, offensive lineman, Duke. And PJ Williams of SMU. And then you got the first team defense. Defensive lineman and three defensive linemen, two from Clemson, TJ Parker and Peter Woods, and from University of Miami, Ruben Bain Jr. And defensive lineman Darrell Jackson Jr. from Florida State. Linebackers, Cal Efford of Georgia Tech, Cal Lewis, linebacker from Pittsburgh, Wade Woodaz from Clemson, linebacker Rasheem Bowles of Pittsburgh. The secondary, Avion Terrell, Clemson, cornerback Chandler Rivers of Duke, safety Isaiah Nwakopia, SMU, and Duke, safety Terry Moore. That completes the first team defense. And first team specialists, you got kicker Colin Rogers of SMU, punter Jack Stonehouse from Syracuse. Then you got the kick returners, Keelan Marion of Miami, Virginia Tech, Tucker Holloway of Virginia Tech, punt returner. So that's going to be the narrative with that. They think we're going to be an all ACC team for as offense, so first team offense, first team defense, as well as first team specialists. That's what you got going on. Projections, they got the Gasparilla Bowl, Virginia Tech versus Missouri, Holiday Bowl, Florida State versus Washington, the Fenway Bowl, NC State versus Army, Pinstripe Bowl, Pittsburgh versus Indiana, Pop Tarts Bowl, Louisville versus BYU, Military, North Carolina versus Navy Bowl. That's going to be the Military Bowl, North Carolina versus Navy. The Sun Bowl going to be featuring Duke in Utah. Again, both SMU versus Texas A&M. Duke's Mayo Classic Bowl, Duke's Mayo Bowl, Georgia Tech versus Ole Miss. And college football playoff first round, you got Miami against Georgia, and the Clemson Tigers will play Georgia in the quarterfinals in the Orange Bowl. So that's what's on the docket with that. And you got the coordinator carousel. They got the top transfers. Number one is Carson Beck of Miami. Two is Darian Mensah, quarterback of Duke. Miller Moss, quarterback of Louisville. Deuce Robinson, wide receiver from Florida State. Eric Rivers, wide receiver from Georgia Tech. Clemson, defensive lineman Will Hale. James Williams, defensive lineman, Florida State. Miami Hurricanes, Xavier Lucas, Florida State. Jeremiah Wilson, and David Blake Jr., Miami, Florida. So these guys that transferred. Beck, he transferred from Georgia. Mensah transferred from Tulane. Moss transferred from USC. Robinson transferred from USC. Rivers transferred from FIU. Held was at Purdue. He transferred to Clemson. Williams transferred from Nebraska to Florida State. Lucas transferred from Wisconsin to Miami. Wilson transferred from Houston to Florida State. And Blake Jr. transferred from Louisiana Tech to University of Miami. In the rankings of recruiting, Miami's number one. Games to watch this year in the ACC is August 30th, LSU versus Clemson. August 31st, Notre Dame at Miami. October 4th, Miami versus Florida State. Louisville at Miami. October 17th, Georgia Tech at Duke. October 18th. October 18th, SMU at Clemson. November 1st, Miami at SMU. November 14th, Clemson at Louisville. November 22nd, Duke at North Carolina. November 22nd, Louisville at SMU. November 29th, Clemson at South Carolina. Finally, November 29th, Georgia Tech versus Georgia. That's what's going to be on the docket. Top 10 recruits, they got listed here. Stuff like that. So that's it for that, the ACC preview. So next week, I get into like the teams, break down teams in the ACC and keep moving. All right, so let's get into remembering Ryne Sandberg. Unfortunately, passed away. Rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to Ryne Sandberg. He passed away this week at age 65 of cancer. Let's look into his career. If you're not familiar, I remember this guy. I remember him very well, like in the late 80s. I remember like the Cubs used to play on WGN. When I had cable, cable television was in vogue for satellite. And the WGN, they used to always show the Chicago Cubs play baseball at home. I don't think they showed them on the road, but it was always at 2:20 p.m. in the afternoon. The Cubs will play. You know what I'm saying? Sandberg was part of those teams that was, pretty good. Andre Dawson, Mark Grace, guys like that, Rick Sutcliffe. Those guys, they were pretty good. But he passed away, unfortunately, man. Age 65. He was dealing with prostate cancer, metastatic prostate cancer. He was diagnosed with last year. And he was known for his power, speed, and defensive prowess during his 16-year career. He was the face of the Cubs during his 15 seasons with the franchise, fan favorite throughout the sport. He was traded for the Philadelphia Phillies to the Cubs in January of 1982, struggling during his first call-up in Philly. So, again, he did his thing. He's named MVP. And nationally in 1984, he hit 19 home runs, 19 triples, stealing 32 bases, hit 314. He led the Cubs to their first postseason appearance in 39 years. So he was great at what he did. Also, he's known for this game against the St. Louis Cardinals in June 23rd, 1984, I believe. It's forever known in Chicago as the Sandberg game. He hit two game-tying home runs off of Hall of Famer closer Bruce Sutter in the ninth and the 10th innings for the Cubs won the game in the 11th inning in front of a national TV audience. 10-time All-Star during his 15 seasons, hit 282 career home runs during the era of baseball, where second basemen weren't known for that kind of power. Yeah, I think that was a 1984 when he hit that home run. He was manager for the Phillies from 2013 to 2015. I remember Ron Sandberg, man. Sad to see him pass away. See what year was that? Yeah, June 23rd, 1984, at Wrigley Field against the Cardinals. He had two game-time home runs in the ninth and the 10th. That was like his defining moment. They won 12-11. Bob Custis did the game, said, "Do you believe it?" So it was just a signature moment for Sandberg's career. He was 5 for 6 in the game with 7 RBIs. So it's a classic game. It was on NBC. So it put him on the map at the time. Sandberg. That's it, man. Rest in peace to Ryne Sandberg. So let's get into on this day in sports history for July 31st. It's the final day of the month. Let's get into it. Get into it. 1899, Albert Trott hits ball from Monty Noble over the pavilion at Lost Cricket Ground. Happened on July 31st, 1899. 1930, on July 31st, New York Yankees first baseman Lou Gehrig drove in 8 runs with a grand slam included and two doubles in a 14-13 win over the rival Boston Red Sox. Cleveland Indians christened their new home in Municipal Stadium before more than 76,000 fans. It was opened at 1-0 to Philadelphia A's. Jack Powell suspended. 1938, Major League Baseball Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis suspended New York Yankees outfielder Jake Powell after he says on Chicago Raid keeps in shape by cracking African Americans over the head with the nightstick. 1954, July 31st, Joe Adcock, first baseman of the Milwaukee Braves, became the only third player in the 20th century to hit 4 home runs in a 9-inning game, joining Lou Gehrig and Gil Hodges in a 15-7 Braves win over the Brooklyn Dodgers. At Evans Field, he had 15 total bases, 18 total bases, excuse me. Cleveland Indians tied record of 4 consecutive home runs to beat California Angels 9-5. Woody Held, Pedro Ramos, Tito Francona, Larry Brown all go deep off of Paul Foytak in the 6th inning. Next, we got 1972, July 31st. Chicago White Sox slugger Dick Allen became only the 7th player in Major League Baseball history to hit 2 inside the park home runs in the game, both off of Bert Blyleven, 8-1 White Sox win over the Minnesota Twins. 1978, Cincinnati Reds, infielder Pete Rose single off Phil Negro to extend his hitting streak to 44 games. As the Reds edged the Atlanta Braves 33-2, tying Willie Keeler's 81-year-old National League record. 1981, midseason strike by Major League Baseball players ends after 42 days, causing the cancellation of 713 games. Players and owners come to an agent agreement on free agent compensation. 1983, Brooks Robinson, John Juan Marichal, George Kell, Walter Austin was inducted into the Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, New York in 1983. 1987, Eddie Murray, first baseman of the Baltimore Orioles, hit his 299th and 300 career home runs to lead the Orioles to the 8-4 win over the Texas Rangers. 1988, the designated hitter Jose Canseco of the Oakland A's smacked 2 home runs over Scott Bankhead in A's 6-2 win over the Seattle Mariners. He became the first Major League Baseball player to hit 30 home runs in his first 3 years. 1988, Willie Stargell of the Pittsburgh Pirates, first baseman, left fielder, 7-time All-Star, became the 200th man to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. 1989, July 31st, Minnesota Twins traded American League Cy Young Award winner Frank Viola to the New York Mets. 1990, 300th game was won by Nolan Ryan of Texas Rangers as the pitcher. The 11-3 win over the Milwaukee Brewers, becoming the 20th Major League Baseball pitcher to reach the milestone. 1993, Rickey Henderson was acquired by the Toronto Blue Jays from Oakland in exchange for Steve Carsey and Jose Herrera, minor leaguers. 1994 Baseball Hall of Famers that was inducted was Phil Rizzuto, New York Yankees, and Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Steve Carlton were inducted to the Hall of Fame. Mark McGwire got traded, first baseman. He became Major League Baseball top home run hitter to be traded in the middle of a season when he moves from Oakland to the St. Louis Cardinals with 34 home runs and 81 RBIs. July 31st, 2007. It's a big moment right here. NBA news, all Celtics obtained former MVP and 10-time All-Star Kevin Garnett a 7-for-1 deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was the NBA's biggest trade for one player at the time. Obviously, went on to win the NBA championship in 2008. Okay, so we got that. That's basically it, man. I ain't going over nothing else. So that's it, man. That's it for the night, man. Hope you enjoyed tonight's Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 62. That's the final episode in the month of July. It's been a great month. I'll be back next week for the first episode in the month of August, man. I'll continue to get into the preview of the Athlon Sports College Football preview, get into the teams of the ACC as we count down the season, August 23rd. It's coming up with the college football season on the horizon. So thanks for tuning in. Also, check out the articles, recent articles I wrote about. Go to e5280sports.com. The latest one was about the 1995 Atlanta Braves. It's already up. Looking back, shout out to Michael Spillin for posting it. So I've been rewriting a lot of stuff about baseball teams from the past, because it's such a slow sports landscape. So I try to just go retrospective. So it's up on the website e5280sports.com. Check it out. Looking back, the 1995 Atlanta Braves. The 1995 Atlanta Braves was a team that won a championship. So I did an article, a piece about the 1995 Atlanta Braves because they were a team. It was like the mirror images of the Buffalo Bills. They like the Buffalo Bills of baseball because they were so talented. They kept falling short winning championships. They went to the 91 World Series against the Minnesota Twins. They lost in 7 games. And in 92, they lose to Toronto Blue Jays. In 93, they lose in the NLCS to the Philadelphia Phillies. So then you have this strike, the lockout. Then 95 was a very short season. So I go over that. And the Braves was able to win the championship, So it's a great piece. There's only 144 games that were played during that 95 season. And also, there was history made where they expanded the postseason format in 1995 Major League Baseball season. They expanded to adding a league divisional series, best of 5. So that was something that was new at that time in 1995, 30 years ago. And the Braves won the championship. They beat the Cleveland Indians. was able to win the championship. So check out that latest article and the best shit to come with that. Other articles that I'm gonna be doing in the future. So I'll stay tuned for that. So that's it for the night, man. Thanks for tuning in. Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell comes on every single Thursday night around this time, like 8:30, whatever it is, and break down what I got to break down. And like I said, do what you can to support. Deeply appreciate it. That's it, man. That's it for the night. So thanks for tuning in. Do what you can to support. Deeply appreciate it. That's it, man. So thanks for tuning in. Until then, talk to you next week in August. Good night.